Breaking news live. Sorry, I just started the live stream. I'm a little disappointed.
Are you?
I wish it was a little better.
Really?
Yeah, I think it should be higher class. What do you think? Yes?
Are you talking about this?
Yeah, the weed. I think it should be a higher quality.
Yes.
Uh-huh. What's up, America? Word, how you doing? Sorry, just started the live stream. As you know, when I go live, it's time to break a little bit of stuff up. What's up, America? And get ourselves ready because obviously, my friends, we need something to talk about. The shit of the day, which is going on in the world. Definitely need some gummies. I have some. And I'll be getting on that as soon as I roll this one real quick. We're getting into the live breaking news here of the world. It is a shit show. What is up, America? How's everybody doing? We have to talk about information pertaining to the Washington, D.C. Afghan national shooter. We have to talk about what's going on overseas, a potential for Venezuela invasion and attack, the Chinese and the Japanese going at it. What's up, KD Woods? What's up, everybody? You had a raging Thanksgiving. I had a ragingly big Thanksgiving, didn't I, honey?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's what we're doing right here is the news of the day. Donald Trump pardoning turkeys, etc., etc. The poor still having problems. The rich getting richer. What's up, Shane? And, of course, the Republicans and the Democrats failing, being dick slingers like they always are. So in that spirit of Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. I'm John Wayne at the first Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, Pilgrim. Fuck yeah, baby. It was Thanksgiving today. I gotta tell you, a lot of the festivities seem muddled. And I heard a lot of people saying it's Indigenous Peoples Day, don't do Thanksgiving. Blah, 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 blah. I know the history of it, and I know sometimes they celebrated with food after killing a bunch of Native Americans. And I also know that they did it in peace sometimes. The former as the most common. Nevertheless, I like turkey. And there's the news for you. I like turkey, and that's what it is. So the news of the day is same old shit. We're waiting for $2,000 checks for from Donald Trump. We had an earthquake in Indonesia and, of course, over in Alaska. Those were 6.6. I ended the stream. Those were 6.6 earthquake and a 6.4, I think it was. So that's all fantastic. It's glitching. Well, that's not good. And, of course, a volcano went off in Ethiopia yesterday. The first time that's gone off in 10,000 years. So it looks to me like we have a lot of seismic activity. Sorry, I'm getting concentrate out here. It was a juicy turkey. Ours was too. It was at my wife's brother's house. How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Don't forget to thumbs up and share and all that stupid shit. Subscribe here on YouTube because I know you guys are all awesome. Now, I'm going to roll this joint while talking about the news. As you can see, I'm not finished yet. I prematurely came on here, and now I'm molesting a joint while I'm rolling it, trying to powderize the concentrate. What's up, Mark? So, happy Thanksgiving. That's what we got going on here. And the news of the day is the same old shit. First thing I want to talk about, and I'm not even going to look at the stories on here. The guy that shot the National Guardsman in Washington, D.C. yesterday, the one girl has died that was a National Guardsman. She was in her 20s. She died of a headshot. And the other guy, they say, is in critical condition. I believe he's dead already. The guy that shot him was an Afghan national, Ramallah, whatever his name was, age 29 from Afghanistan, came over here under Joe Biden's initiative to bring allies. He apparently worked with the CIA with submarine. Says you're supposed to roll 2 ounces. That's true. And the guy that shot the National Guardsman yesterday had ties to the CIA, as he had been embedded with them while he was in Afghanistan. Of course, there was a lot of Afghans that worked not only with the CIA, but also the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, or not necessarily the Navy, the Marine Corps, etc. A lot of them in intelligence, which is really fucked up with that. So that happened. CIA ties to the shooter of the National Guardsman. As I said, the one girl who was a combat veteran, she died. That happened just a couple hours ago. That was announced by her father and President Donald Trump. And of course, the other one, I believe, is probably either near death. Hopefully he'll live, but there's no word on that exactly. So that's the update we have on that, which is unfortunate for the people in the National Guard, because that piece of shit, they should have killed him, in my opinion. But he's taken into custody, even though he did end up with a gunshot wound. So he got to feel the old burn. He got to feel the old Burnsy right there, but it wasn't enough. Because he shouldn't have been alive. I'd like to see that guy executed later if possible. In other news, of course, you can also find out the weather with a guy on here that's very famous, Brian Hall, that does the weather on here. But there's a strong winter storm set to hit parts of the United States Midwest and Great Lakes region this weekend, threatening flight delays and safety for millions. Winter storm watches, and in my state is one of these: Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Indiana, Michigan, Nebraska, South Dakota, Minneapolis. 50 million people impacted by the white crap that makes everybody pissed. Temperatures have dropped where I'm at about 30 degrees here in Indiana. Forecasters warn of potential heavy snowfall, 6 to 12 inches, depending on where you are, especially north of I-70, isn't it always? Which is weird as shit. And south of Interstate 90. The heaviest snow is expected in northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, southern and eastern Wisconsin, and lower Michigan. Totals over 8 to 10 inches. Thank you, Pete and Bobcat. Now, that's what she said. 8 to 10 inches. Anyway. Sorry about that. Is that ripped? Fucking better not be ripped. If you're ripped, I am going to be... Nope, you're not. Okay, good. You're fucking A right, you're not ripped. Okay, forecasters warned of potentially heavy snowfalls with accumulations of 6 to 12 inches in many areas. The National Weather Service has... And an ad popped up. Surprise, surprise. National Weather Service has warned travel will become difficult or nearly impossible on Saturday as roads, bridges, and overpasses turn slick and hazardous. Airports in Chicago, Milwaukee, and Grand Rapids are already issuing ground delays and de-icing alerts. Quit showing ads! For Thursday night into Friday, because crews are pre-positioning equipment and airlines are proactively canceling or delaying flights ahead of the weekend storms. NSW, National Weather Service Office, recommends delayed travel if possible, keeping an emergency kit in vehicles and allowing extra time if travel is unavoidable. My chat's frozen.
Is it?
Yeah, what's the last one you have?
3 to 7 inches in Indiana.
Yeah, my chat is completely frozen. So sorry, my chat is frozen on here. I don't know why YouTube does that. So keep chatting if possible, and gifting. I can't see anything on here, and I don't want to restart the stream. Why does it do that? Yeah, like it goes down. The last comment that it shows is Jason Wilson, 1677. The politicians say you're supposed to roll 2 ounces, and then it just stops. Interesting. Anybody know why that happens? Is there anything I can do to fix that? Apparently, there's nothing I can do to fix that. All right, well, I guess my comments aren't fucking showing up for me, so I'm sorry about that. We have snow going from central Kansas all the way up to northeastern Maine. That'll be coming up here. There'll be all the way down to the Appalachians. In Tennessee, it's going to be in the 20s. Just so you know. So that'll be fun right there. RFK Jr. Taunts people by having an actual meal. I guess the news is very light today. What do we got here? Coffee chain refuses to serve a black customer out in Washington. American Signature, a 75-year-old furniture chain that operates Value City Furniture, went bankrupt, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So it looks like Value City Furniture is going out of business. That's big news, I guess. And Keith Urban linked to a new woman, much because him and Nicole Kidman split up. And now Keith Urban's fucking a 25-year-old. They all do the same thing, don't they? Let's see what else we have here. Las Vegas gambler turns a $5 bet into a $1 million jackpot. The winner was accompanied by the winner was accompanied by his spouse in the life-changing moment in Las Vegas. A guest staying at the Resort World in Sin City placed a wager of $5 and walked away with an eye-popping $11 million. The hotel announced on social media the winner has not been disclosed. Congratulations to one lucky guest who hit an $11 million jackpot because of a $5 wager at Resort World. Let's all stay at Resort World. He played a game called Mega Bucks. Yeah, that never I would say that never happens, but it happens, so. Anna Copper, there's a girl that was killed on a cruise ship. Reveals how Turnabout family will mark Thanksgiving. A slain teen stepbrother is linked to her homicide.
Oh yeah, I saw that the other day.
So the Christopher Capper said the holiday season looks different. Apparently, tragic death was at Carnival Cruise. Is that what it was? Anna was declared dead at 11:17 a.m. November 7th while on a cruise getaway with her blended family. The ship was in international waters between Mexico and Florida. Her body was found in a cabin underneath the bed. She was wrapped in a blanket covered in life vests. The Daily Mail was the first to report that the 16-year-old stepbrother was considered a suspect in Anna's death. It was under investigation. Her father told People magazine he wanted him to face the consequences and that he would be fighting to make sure it happens, although he does not confirm that his stepson's been involved. The teen girl's cause of death was determined to be asphyxiation via a bar hold, which is an arm placed across the neck. Anna and her stepbrother, who cannot be named for legal reasons, share a cabin on the Carnival Horizon during the family's tropical trip. Her 14-year-old brother was also in the cabin. Let me guess. He tried to fuck her and she got pissed and he killed her. Stepbrother, yeah. On the night of her death, Anna's younger brother heard yelling and chairs being thrown in the cabin where she was alone with her stepbrother. According to the teen's ex-boyfriend, Josh II told reporters at a memorial service. Josh claims Anna's younger brother told him that her stepbrother prevented him from entering their room and heard yelling and her in a harmful way, like shut the hell up and stuff like that. That's when he knew something was going on. However, he claimed that the relative had stopped talking to him. He said the FBI told them that if they talk, they'll get arrested because of tampering with the investigation. Damn. Oh, what did I tell you? He also said that he caught the 16-year-old stepbrother trying to get on top of her 9 months ago. So the stepbrother was trying to fuck her, and she freaked out and fucking stopped it, and he killed her. So that's what it looks like to me. So what it looks like to me is that piece of shit, piece of shit, is trying to fuck his stepsister. There you go. What else in the news today? Fans hail best ever rendition of the national anthem. Scientists are baffled by a mysterious halo of red light that appears over a small town for the second time in 3 years. Scientists have been baffled by a mysterious halo of red light that has appeared over a small Italian town 3 years in a row. The incredible image captures a bizarre UFO-like ring above Passagno, a tiny town in the foothills of the Italian Alps. The photograph was taken by photographer Walter Binto, who watches as a glowing structure flashed in the sky at 10:45 p.m. November 17th. And there it is right there. It's a ring. It's a red ring like this over the Italian town. It's like that. It's got to be some type of like, I don't know. Somebody is saying it's a sprite. Not a real, like a fire spray, not a real one, yeah. DC shooting suspect, the guy that killed the National Guardsman in Washington, D.C., suffered a mental issue from fighting in CIA-backed Zero unit during the war in Afghanistan. So that's different. The immigrant accused of shooting 2 National Guard troops in Washington, D.C. had suffered mental issues after years of fighting in the CIA-backed military unit during a conflict in Afghanistan. Ramallah Lankalwa, age 29, is in custody after the horror shootout just 800 yards from the White House on Wednesday afternoon, which left 2 West Virginia soldiers dead and another one battling critical injuries, which it looks like he may die also. I hope not. He arrived in America 2021 as part of the withdrawal in Afghanistan, served as an ally of special forces in the CIA-backed Zero unit. Lankalwa applied for asylum in 2024 after his temporary visa lapsed, and in April 2025, it was granted by the Trump administration. Now the longtime friend has shared details about his mental health battle, struggling with the horrors he saw and violence carried out as part of duty with the unit. When he saw blood, bodies, and the wounded, he could not tolerate it. The childhood friend told the New York Times. Put a lot of pressure on his mind. The father of 5 was part of an elite paramilitary outfit which engaged in combat with the Taliban during the years in Afghanistan, often referred to as a CIA death squad. So he was part of a death squad. While his role in the unit is not clear, his task force was often linked to night raids, covert operations, and was suspected of carrying out executions. So that just proves that we kill people in the United States government. Don't forget to gift and thumbs up, by the way. Sorry, my fucking thing's screwed up here. He would tell me and our friends that their military operation was very tough. Their job was very difficult, and they were under a lot of pressure. If anybody asks any questions, let me know what they say so I can actually respond. Hours after his identity was made public, CIA Director John Ratcliffe sensationally admitted he was known to the agency and had worked with the CIA. God damn it with the fucking ads, I swear to God. Now I got a Sydney Sweeney situation. I got to find out where it left off. I love you. Why does it always have to be like this? So, he told Fox News that his involvement was a member of the Panther Force, or a partner force in Kandahar, which ended shortly following the chaotic evacuation. He echoed comments made out earlier by Trump that the former administration's disastrous actions during the withdrawal allowed unvetted foreigners to enter the United States on temporary visas. What? Oh, London Daily Mail. The Biden administration justified bringing the alleged shooter into the United States in September 2021 due to his prior work with the U.S. government, including the CIA. The individual and so many others should never have been allowed to come here. said Trump, which that's short-sighted, I guess. Our citizens and service members deserve far better than to endure the ongoing fallout from the Biden administration's catastrophic failures, end quote, according to Donald Trump. But it later emerged the Trump administration was actually the authority who granted this guy permission to stay in the United States. So the blame game between the administrations is already continuing. The Biden administration initially allowed Long Schwal into the United States September 2021 as a refugee under Operation Allies Welcome, but his visa expired, to which he was given asylum by the Trump administration this April. White House official told the Daily Mail he would not have been removed from the country because of his parole status. The Afghan national was paroled into the United States by the Biden administration, the White House official said. After that, Joe Biden signed a law with the parole program, blah, 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 blah. But this guy drove 2,819 miles to kill people in Washington, D.C., leaving from Bellingham, Washington, driving all the way to Washington, D.C.
National Guard people up in Washington State that he could.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah, why didn't he stay? Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the deal was with this guy. And now we have an update with Vladimir Putin saying that Ukraine must withdraw. Russia's ready to fight until the last Ukrainian dies, if necessary, and insists peace will not happen until Kiev's troops withdraw. Vladimir Putin has said that Russia will fight until the last Ukrainian dies if it needs to, and warned peace will not happen until Ukraine withdraws its troops. Diplomatic efforts to defuse Europe's deadliest war since World War II have been steeped in recent weeks, with various peace plans emerging from different sides, including the United States and Europe. Putin declared on Thursday that if Ukraine fails to pull out of the territories Moscow claims as its own, Russia will have to achieve its objective by military force. Some people demand too deep on fighting until the last Ukrainian dies. Russia's ready to do that. Ukrainian troops must withdraw from the territories they hold, and that then the fighting will cease. If they don't leave, then we shall achieve this by armed means. That's it, Putin said, as he noted that Russian forces were advancing in Ukraine at a faster pace. That is true. He added that Russia does not plan to attack Europe and deems attacking Europe ridiculous. The Russian army has been slowed, but steadily grinding through eastern Ukraine in costly battles against outnumbered and outgunned Ukrainian forces. Washington has meanwhile renewed its push to end the nearly 4-year war, putting forward a surprise plan that it hopes finalizes through upcoming talks with Moscow. No word if that'll work. If they don't achieve it, we will achieve it by military means. Russia controls 1/5 of Ukraine currently. The issue of occupied land, which Kiev has said will never cede, has become the key stumbling block. Putin's stark warning comes after acknowledged that it outlines of a peace draft plan discussed by the U.S. and Ukraine could become the basis of future agreements. In general, we agree that this can be the basis of future agreements, Putin said, adding that the variant of the plan discussed by the EU and Ukraine in Geneva has been passed to Russia. He added that the U.S. was taking into account Russia's position, but that some things still need to be discussed. The Russian president also said that if Europe wanted to pledge not to attack, then Moscow is willing to give such a pledge also. So Europe can save themselves a fuck up back and forth with Russia. I like the fact that they're trying to end the war. Pam Bondi slams progressive left, quote, idiots for criticizing National Guard deployment. I agree on that. And Trump plunged into security scandal after blaming President Biden, even though we just talked about that, because he let the guy stay here. The Obamas celebrate Thanksgiving with a hug and a kiss, it looks like, on a postcard. And Princess, what's her name? Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are handing out cookies and food to the poor with Lil Bit. Me and my wife were talking about this earlier. I would hate to be named Lil Bit. I would beat the fuck. I would change my own name when I got old enough. Lil Bit. I cannot stand Meghan Markle. She is not a queen. No yes queen. Meghan Markle's a piece of shit. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do it. Prince Harry is okay, I guess. But Meghan Markle is an automaton, in my opinion, that offers nothing but strife and devaluation of humanity. And the fact that they named their child Lil Bit, trying to get favor with the queen, then she dies. What? I mean, that would be like naming your kid fucking... There was a movie called Greed, I think it was, or Greedy, and it had Phil Hartman, and the guy in the family was worth like $2 billion. His name was Joe, and he named his 3 kids Little Josai, Jolene, and Joanna, so that he could get favor to get $1 billion when he died, or whatever. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. So not a big fan of them. Donald Trump pardons 2 turkeys. Dolly Parton delivers an emotional Thanksgiving message amid her health battle. And American stars refuse to celebrate Thanksgiving. We have some celebrities who refuse to celebrate blood-soaked Thanksgiving, including Angelina Jolie, whose children will probably hate her later on. Alicia Silverstone, but not because of the indigenous thing. She doesn't want to kill the cute little turkeys. So I can understand her. So good on her for that. Didn't know that. Cher, because she's a fucking psycho. Shailene Woodley. Who the fuck is that? Who are these people? Sarah Silverman. Sarah Silverman won't be... I know you love Sarah Silverman, honey. She's like your favorite. Yeah. Sarah Silverman sucks. Billie Eilish. Well, she's a vegan. And Jon Stewart joked about Thanksgiving history. But come on, John. You got to eat some. Pamela Anderson, because she's in PETA. Riversdale star Madeline Patesh. They're not eating turkey this Thanksgiving. Apparently, they hate Jesus. I'm just kidding. Cynthia Erivo fails to captivate viewers on Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Anybody else think that there's like someone else inside of her? Like Cynthia Erivo? Or is that it? Cynthia Erivo, the girl that's in Wicked? I think that bitch's got a demon in her. And I think she's fucking destroying Ariana Grande. Like, come on, Ariana Grande. Eat a fucking sandwich. What's wrong with you? Non-binary college student attacks elderly man in a fight over a Turning Point USA chapter being adopted at their school. Sydney Sweeney hangs out in a skin-tight wetsuit and her tits out. Again. Pete Hegseth, they made fun of him on South Park. And gifted 18-year-old ballerina who had just started college was shot dead by her ex-boyfriend before he killed himself. So let me guess. He couldn't take that she was going to college, so he killed her than himself. What a fucking piece of shit. And Zohran Mamdani will be taking over New York City coming up in January. So very nice. Evil dad who killed his 6-year-old son in playroom, then claimed his son did it to himself, learns that he'll be spending the rest of his life in jail as this piece of shit killed his 6-year-old son and then said he killed himself. Jesus Christ. Coyote attacks 2 children near San Diego. And Bruce Willis reveals heartbreaking new holiday reality as Bruce Willis does not know where he's at right now. That's actually a sad decline because Bruce Willis was the shit. Everybody loves Bruce Willis, man. Come on, Die Hard. What the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean? I didn't expect it to go out like that. That's the London Daily Mail. The Drudge Report is constant. We don't have a lot of news today. Thanksgiving terror in D.C. Polls are now showing that J.D. Vance is not the number one candidate to replace Donald Trump. It looks like that Donald Trump Jr., the likelihood of J.D. Vance becoming the Republican nominee for 2028 is declining, according to recent polls. According to several recent polls, J.D. Vance lead over Donald Trump Jr. has decreased in last months. Newsweek reached out to representatives for both. No one will talk to them because they're the media. Because of the 22nd Amendment in the Constitution, president can only serve 2 terms, so Trump will need to pass the baton to another GOP candidate. While neither Vance or other GOP figures have announced their candidacy, Vance, the current vice president, has been widely tipped as the potential candidate in natural heir to the Trump agenda. But if popularity is falling, it could signal that Donald Trump Jr. or even a Bush family member, because the Bushes are talking about getting back into politics. Now, I want to make it very clear to everybody, do not vote for the Bushes. Fuck George W. Bush and his family. None of the Bushes need to be a president, a vice president, a dog catcher, anybody who cleans toilets. Fuck them. Fuck the Bushes. By the way, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. Subscribe and gift if you haven't. I just learned recently that they allow gifts on YouTube. So gift if you got them, but definitely subscribe because that's free. Venezuela bans airlines as tensions with the United States grows. And top doctors warned that there's reasons to worry about Donald Trump, saying that he might be in mental decline. I haven't seen that lately, but the doctors are saying that Donald Trump's battery is running low. Yikes. Racist AI-generated future. Thank you, JB. Hell yes. Racist. Yeah, it's not showing up anything. The only thing is the numbers are changing on the viewers. Nothing else is showing up. It is fucking insane. A new form of Ozempic is on the way, and Mystery Foot suggests early human relatives lived alongside Lucy, shaping human evolution. So that's fun. Trump's nemesis, a 60-year-old who's been at 1,000 protests. Who fucking cares? What? Asteroid contained tryptophan? Scientists find evidence that asteroids carried the amino acid tryptophan that's in turkey. Tryptophan, the essential amino acid behind the Thanksgiving myth that eating turkey can make you sleepy, has been found to exist on Bennu, a small asteroid that swings by our planet every 6 years. The discovery stems from an unprecedented sample collection of the OSIRIS-REx mission, which landed a spacecraft on the asteroid Bennu in 2020. They captured 4.3 ounces or 121.6 grams of rock and dust and safely returned to Earth in 2023. NASA distributed a small portion of the sample to research around the world to be analyzed. Studying Bennu, the asteroid, is important because its composition reflects that the early solar system gives a scientific glimpse into the beginnings of life on Earth. Previous research on Bennu samples had found 14 of the 20 amino acids in all living organisms that Earth stems from, as well as all 5 biological nucleobases, the components that make up the genetic code in the DNA and RNA. Researchers also previously detected amino acids in samples from another asteroid, Ryugu, which the Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency collected in 2019, as well as in various meteorites that have fallen to the Earth. This growing body of evidence suggests that asteroids might have delivered essential life ingredients to our planet, according to experts. Now, a new analysis of Bennu samples have confidently, although not conclusively, identified tryptophan, increasing the tally of protein-building amino acids to 15 out of 20. Finding tryptophan in Bennu asteroid is a big deal because tryptophan is one of the more complex amino acids, and until now it has never been seen in any meteorite or any space sample, said Jose Aponte, an astrochemist in the Astrobiology Analytical Laboratory at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center. He co-authored a study on the finding that published Monday in the journal PNAS. So basically, asteroids are carrying the chemicals that make up human life, and they found about 70 to 80% of everything that can make a person exist. Well, there you go, honey. Scientists may have solved why several ancient civilizations have vanished. Nice. What do we got here? At its peak, the ancient Indus River Valley civilization featured gilded streets, multi-story brick homes, flush toilets, and bustling shops. Its people traded gold, precious stones, and items such as bronze carts along the region's waterways. Others carved detailed human figurines and molded clay toys that they grew wheat, barley, and cotton and crafted tools to bring water to the crops. The Indus Valley, largely located in modern-day Pakistan and northwest India, hosted one of the most advanced societies at the time, along with Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt. And then, with little sign of fighting or power struggles, it mysteriously disappeared. Today, scientists have been trying to explain the puzzling downfall of Harappa, one of the valley's largest cities, by looking at the environmental conditions. A study published Thursday in the Journal of Communications, Earth, and Environment, the international team used paleolimate data and computer models to recreate the climate during the civilization's existence between 3000 and 1000 BC. They found 4 intense droughts that reduced rainfall and dried up waterways and soil, which caused Harappan residents to relocate frequently. It's the most surprising find, in the Harappan decline was not driven by a single catastrophic event, but repeated long and intensifying droughts, literally lasting centuries. So that's why the Indus Valley collapsed, if you ever wanted to know. Multiple earthquakes rattled northern California. A 6.6 earthquake occurred in Alaska, and a 6.4 earthquake occurred in Java earlier today, symbolizing that there might be more larger earthquakes on the way. And there's also a sexual assault scandal in the United States military involving a doctor who was wearing a camera with his phone on, taking images and video of women naked and also finger fucking them, basically. He was a gynecologist. So there you go. Actually, as you know, there's some of the world's coldest weather is coming this way. Donald Trump called Japan after a spat between Japan and China, telling Japan to calm down, and China is not to be fucked with, I guess. And Vladimir Putin deploys robo-pigeons to blow shit up and kill people, controlled by brain implants. Germany's preparing for a war with Russia, and France unveils voluntary conscription. Iran funds for Hezbollah flowing through Dubai. Kevin Spacey to face a civil sex assault claim in a London court, and NBA star robbed of $185,000 worth of watches at an NBA or at a hotel. And of course, Tara Reid was drugged. And it looks like Josh Hart lost 100. Why would you have so much watches? Like, do people not have phones? You don't need a fucking watch. Whatever. Kroger employees are revealing the shocking amount of price increase, with laundry prices jumping the largest that they've ever seen in a week, with the price of Snuggle dryer sheets, for instance, going from $4.29 to $7.99 in a single week, and other laundry products going up at Kroger and other stores up approximately 30 up to even 50%, with Kroger having the highest. Steph Cox, what's up, America? By the way, my chat is frozen. So chat if you can. Don't forget to gift if you can. You don't like me, block me, and go fuck yourself. Always that shit. And that's the news of the London Daily Mail and the Drudge Report. Here's Sydney Sweeney on Instagram. I don't like Instagram. So she just shows her like ass off the whole time. That's what this chick does. So there's literally a picture underneath up of her ass. And so obviously, like, she knows that they're doing that. It's like Sabrina Carpenter, where she tries to look like kind of like a whore the whole time on purpose. Senator Mark Kelly calls for military sedition. In some cases, getting Stephen A. Smith of ESPN to go off. What the hell are you doing? How dare you? Screaming Stephen A. Smith goes on a rant against Mark Kelly, and Democrats calls for military sedition. You crossed the line, says Stephen A. Smith, with the don't give up the ship bullshit that was going on there. 79-year-old stabbed to death on a farm as Trump bans South Africa from the next G20. In Miami, accused of throwing a tantrum. Of course, in South Africa, as you know, they're allowing white people to be murdered. Thank you, Steph. Yeah, it's not even showing up on here at all. Nothing. How many things does it say I have? Because it usually tells like gifts and all the other stuff right there. Yeah, it's not saying shit on here. It's just being a douche. Pete Hegseth sends a Thanksgiving message to the troops. Blah, 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 and a yakety schmackety. That's basically the news of the day. It's the same old bullshit. Supreme Court's trying to go back and forth on Trump. Ukraine peace talks still going on. Doge still exists, even though they said it didn't work. The holiday market, we're down 0.4% in spending so far this year. We've got more investments coming into the stock market, but not much going on. And that's about it for the news. So let me get into allegory, because hold on. President issues a Thanksgiving proclamation. That just happened a little while ago. And David Letterman calls the president a dictator. Who fucking cares? Wonderful. So does everybody think that the Jews have a little bit too much power in the American government? Anybody? Let's talk about that. Or we can talk about the fact that it's costing... Thank you, Steph. Or we can talk about the fact that it's costing double in the United States to live, and nobody's doing shit about it, and all the rich are getting richer, and the poor are getting fucked over and out. How's that sound? Everybody want to talk about that? Or do you want to talk about how Gaza should have been turned into beaded glass, but they should have saved the women and children? How about maybe a war with China and Taiwan? Does that sound fun? Or is all of this shit that we talk about in the world with the news all just pre-planned garbage that's going to happen whether you have a voice one way or another about it? Russia will take over the territory they won in Ukraine, whether we like it or not. China will take Taiwan, reunify them, whether we like it or not. North Korea will always treat its people like shit. Communism and socialism will fail, yet still continue to spread somehow. Mom Donnie takes over New York in January. So does that dumb fuck in Seattle that's a stay-at-home socialist. Don't know what's going to happen to those cities. Probably be in decline within the first year of their leadership. That's my take on that. Islam's spreading throughout the world. People don't like the Jews, but in my opinion, I don't want Islam spreading around the world. I would be remiss to say that it'll probably destroy the fabric of the entire planet if you allow Sharia law to permeate every legal source of the entire world. Please stop doing that. Want to like this, honey? Yes, you do.
Yeah, here in a second.
Why not now? Because you're cold and you don't want to move? Is that what it is?
I am cold. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. So my whole thing is, what's your pleasure? What's your pleasure here in the United States and in Western Europe? Do you want the influence of the Jewish Israel, or do you want the influence of the Mozzies? What do you think? You want the Muslims or the Jews? What is it? What's your pleasure? I know you say you want the Christians, but you aren't going to get that. You're not going to get that. You see how that works? So you're going to have the Jews or the Muslims. So do you want the forced interracial come together in Europe and in America, or do you want the forced Sharia law and having 10 kids and taking your women by force the whole 9 yards? Which is it? What's your pleasure there, Buster? Neither. Nobody wants any of that, huh? Nobody wants any of that. Well, obviously, we got a rapist up here in Lincoln Park. You're going to get to choose one or the other. You get to choose one or the other, because what you want ain't happening. What you want, that whole Western Europe Christendom, like it was in the 80s and shit, you ain't getting that. Nope. The powers that be determined that was racist bigotry, and that must be destroyed immediately. Right? Christianity, Lutheranism, Catholicism, any of the Jesus stuff, white people, any of that culture that they had, Scandinavian culture, French, British culture, that Irish, Benelux, that's all racism to them. Thank you, Justin. That's all racism to them. So when I hear, I want to go to a church in France, the politicians in France hear, blah, 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 racist bigotry. When I say, I want to have a wife and kids, and I don't want to share my wife as a beta cuck, the politicians hear, I'm a sexist. I should allow and just go be basically prostitute myself. When I say in public, I don't have a problem with gay people at all, but I have a problem with you indoctrinating my children into transgender ideology. They hear you're a sexist, racist bigot, and I need to die. You see? And thank you, Steph. And none of that could be further from the truth. I just want to return to normalcy. And what is and of course liberals will say, what is normalcy? Hateful bigotry? It's like, let's just iron this out right now. People under the age of 18 should not be attending a drag show. My mother used to hang out with a lot of drag queens. The shit they would talk about and do on stage shouldn't be for under 18. You might think it should be. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to iron out the future generation so there's no racism or bigotry, right? All that. But the content of the drag show is often risque and sexualized. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. And on top of that, wonderful hits by a guy pretending to be Bette Midler, belting it out better than she ever could. But it's for under 18s, need not apply. 18 plus only. I would even say 21 plus. We could go back and forth on that. It's not about any problem with gay people or gay marriage. It's a 12-year-old should not be doing drag on stage while the adults are playing with sex toys. See how that works? Fantastic. But nobody wants to separate that because I'll be a bigot. It's like, no, it's common sense. It would be like having a risque book talking about jerking off. High school, that's okay. Elementary school is a little young, don't you think, you fucking pedophile? But I guess I digress on this. So we'll move on with that. It's the same thing with white people are all inherently evil, and everybody that's a minority must teach us. You have nothing to teach me. I already know your plight in history. I'm a student of history through most of my life. Went to grad school. I don't need your bring up and your tutelage. I already have that. I use tutelage. What I need is you to not be a racist piece of shit against or bigoted against white and men. You see how that works? And most people just can't do that because, well, they're the problem. No, actually, the mentality of blaming someone for others' behavior, that's the problem. Being a Karen and a bitch, that's the problem. But we're not, I guess we can't get our head out of our ass long enough anymore to make society work. But I digress again, and it is 10:30 at night. I didn't go very long yet, did I?
No, you've gone for like 3 hours.
Well, how long have I gone on here? 51 minutes. I'll go for 9 minutes and I'll stop at an hour. But simply, there's just not much news to talk about. And I'm so fucking jaded by all the news anyway. I could watch a nuke go off and it would probably barely raise my hackles. Here's a story you guys should hear. A convicted pedophile from Africa is facing a slew of new charges as he snuck into an Arizona school and sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl. The Department of Homeland Security just released the immigration background of Abel Kai Gblah, 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 a criminal alien from Liberia who was allowed into the United States by the Obama administration. On November 19th, Gblah entered Orangewood Elementary School in Phoenix without authorization and proceeded to lure a child into a classroom by telling her he was a doctor and needed to perform medical tests. The girl managed to fight back and escape after Gblah assaulted her. Gblah fled the school but was later arrested at his home and charged with sexual assault, abduction, lewd and lascivious acts with a minor, and kidnapping a minor with intent to sexually assault. Oh, damn. The Liberian entered the U.S. in 2011, was granted a green card. Gblah was convicted in 2021. 2 counts of sexual conduct with a minor, convicted of smuggling aliens. I wonder what planet they were from. And it's unclear if he served prison time in either. The monster sexually assaulted a 10-year-old in her own elementary school. Case in point, ICE officers were ever to go into the elementary school, they would be arrested. They would arrest a depraved criminal like this. The Biden administration failed this little innocent girl. That's fucking sick and shitty. And hopefully he'll get executed. They'll probably give him the key to the city. Illegal alien teenager charged in an ambush shooting of an Arizona police. 2 suspects have been arrested for opening fire on law enforcement in Arizona, including one who's here illegally. The Yavapai County Sheriff just released details on an ongoing investigation into a string of shootings that culminated in the ambush on Sunday in Prescott Valley, Arizona. Early that morning, YCSO Sheriff's Office was assisting the Prescott Valley Police Department when they came under fire from a suspect in a pickup truck shining a green laser. One round struck a patrol vehicle, almost shot a deputy. Deputies quickly detained the occupants of the truck. Detectives from the police department, assisted by the ATF, confirmed that the firearm matched the November 15th Mesa shooting and other recent shootings in the area. The suspect has been identified as 21-year-old Alex Herrera Riviera and 17-year-old male, both arrested November 25th following the service of a search warrant by the SWAT team. 17-year-old suspect is in the country illegally and currently has an ICE detainer placed on him. The suspect facing a slew of felony charges, including aggravated assault on law enforcement, discharging a firearm at a structure, and weapons misconduct. Aggravated assault. So he shot the cop? Because if he didn't shoot anybody, then where's the assault? Either way, that piece of shit sucks dick. And he's probably going to go to jail and then be deported. General Flynn is talking shit. Domestic military manufacturing. Donald Trump unveils unveils the F-47, the new high-tech fighter. And Fauci is back in the news as being another piece of shit. By the way, I never got the vaccination, so suck my dick. I didn't get the vaccination. You don't like it? I don't give a fuck. I hope you eat my shit. Thank you, Steph. And I'll never get the goddamn vaccination. Let's see. Putin reinstates conditions of ending the war. I talked about that. China's warning means more to the UN than it does to Trump. Nigerian president declares emergency as a tax surge. I told you that Trump needs to blow those fuckers up so we can protect Christians. Russia designates late Alexei Navalny, U.S. registered nonprofit, as a terrorist group. Trump is the ultimate pragmatist, and India is rushing to acquire Russian missiles. European Union nations are considering dismantling railroad tracks, going to Russia. And the Russian government says a peace treaty with Ukraine is legally impossible at the moment. A new general has been sworn in as president of Guinea-Bissau after a military coup as a coalition of African Union and ECOWAS observers have condemned the military takeover and urged the army to free top officials. Guinea-Bissau's military has ousted government officials, and a general has now taken over the nation of Guinea-Bissau. So apparently all you need is three motherfuckers. Sup, America? How you guys doing? I guess that's it for the news today. Not much going on. It's Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving? I guess subscribe to me here on YouTube. Gift me in the next 3 minutes, because I'll just be here I'm live at a full hour in 2 minutes. So gift if you got them. Subscribe here on YouTube. Subscribe. Follow me on X, Hello America Sup, and follow me on TikTok, Hello America Sup, but TikTok sucks my dick. So I have most of my followers on TikTok, but fuck them. TikTok's a bunch of bitch made. Thank you, Steph and Justin. You guys are awesome. And that's, I guess, the news. I don't know what to tell you. Not much going on. What? And Mabel. Thank you, my friends. Not much going on. And Bobcat. Thank you. Price is still too high. I'll talk more with gusto tomorrow. Yell at the rich and all that, but it's Thanksgiving. I can only be pissed off so much, right? And now coming up here, here in about 1 minute after I leave, I'm going to smoke this joint with my wife, and I'm going to touch her sexy body. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm probably going to make a gingerbread house before bed with my kid. And there you go. I guess why not? Thank you, JB. And there's a lot of concentrate in this. Two kinds. There's good weed in this with hash and concentrate. So it's this weed with this hash and this concentrate all together in this one joint. because I don't pay no fucking never mind, and I don't fuck around. So that's what we're doing, and I'm gonna go get fucked up real quick. So sorry it was a short night. I guess it wasn't short. I've been splitting my time between YouTube and TikTok, obviously, because I want more people to come here. So tell your friends to come here. Subscribe here. You can become a member. I have memberships all the way from like $1 all the way up to Sup America Pope, if you want to do that. And I have a merch store. I think it's on my page somewhere. And all that. And if you like me, thumbs up. And you don't have to gift if you do. But subscribe because it's free. But thumbs up and gift if you're rich or whatever it is. Or just thumbs up because you're awesome. And that's about the end of the news. So sorry I didn't have anything bigger. Not a lot on the holidays. I do have a Christmas tree up. So I'll probably make some Christmas music and have live streams every now and again on my nights off that are just live streams of the Christmas tree with Christmas music. So check it out. Smoke them if you got them. All that shit. And if you don't like me, block me and go fuck yourself or whatever it is. I'll be back tomorrow, probably on TikTok and here on YouTube. But subscribe here because you're awesome. And I know if you subscribe, it's probably quite big down below. So we'll be back tomorrow. See you later. Bye. And take it easy. Go fuck yourself if you don't like